I hated being diabetic. I used to rip my CGM out to go to the cinema in case somebody could see through clothing in the dark.
Wow.
You know, supersonic vision. It was really comforting that my selected best friend outside of diabetes became my diabestie.
I remember I thought I would never be able to go out again. Like, I thought my university days are over. I'm never going to a nightclub again. Can never drink alcohol again. Hold on. I'm living with a type 1 diabetic who goes to the nightclub with me. Why do I think that I can't do it too, you know?
But back when I was dating my boyfriend Jack, it wasn't serious yet. I was round to his house after a night out and I went hypo. But I was in a boys' uni house, and what are they going to have? Nothing. Did you know what he brought me? Kettle water with sugar sprinkled in and a half-eaten coffee biscuit from my cousin Jay.
I knew my boyfriend was the one whenever I had my first hypo at his house, like at his family home, and he brought me.
Hi everyone, welcome to TypeCast Life Between the Lines, a diabetes podcast that goes beyond the target glucose. I'm your host, Natalie Balmain, winner of Channel 4's Make Me Prime Minister, Omnipod Ambassador, and General Do-Gooder of Diabetes. Juggling the ups and downs of diabetes can be challenging, so I'm here to connect you to some real people with real stories who all have one thing in common: type 1 diabetes. We'll be talking to some amazing guests over the course of this series, sharing laughs, tears, insights, and inspirational stories. So whether you're a seasoned pro or newly diagnosed, I hope you enjoy the podcast. If you do, you can make sure to watch, download, listen, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, or your favorite podcast app. I hope you enjoy the show. TypeCast, the podcast, features real stories from real people living with diabetes. But of course, none of this should be taken as medical advice. Always seek advice from your diabetes specialist team before making any changes. Hi everyone, and welcome to TypeCast Life Between the Lines. I'm really excited to introduce this week's guests. Yes, plural. Not only because they're just incredible people, but they're also really good friends of mine. They are probably the most famous type 1 diabetics on social media, with over 30,000 followers on TikTok and over 15,000 followers on Instagram. I know them as Beth and Ellen, but you probably know them as the Diabetic Duo. Hi, girls!
Hi!
Hello!
So exciting. We are so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming all the way from Belfast to be with me today.
No, thanks for having us. We're so excited.
There was no way I wasn't going to get you guys on here. Let's be honest. So for people who don't know who you are, do you want to just tell us a little bit about each of you?
Yeah, so I'm Beth. I'm 24 years old. I'm from 30 minutes from Belfast, along with Ellen in our little hometown Banbridge. And I've had type 1 diabetes for nearly 5 years.
Wow.
So I got it in adulthood, which is very different to your story, Ellen.
Yes, and I'm Ellen. I'm 24 as well, and I live 3 minutes from Beth. And I've been type 1 diabetic a lot of years. I can't remember how long, but from I was 7.
Wow, so that's a big difference. So did you guys know each other before you were diagnosed, Beth?
Yes, this is the weirdest story ever. And every time we tell people, they actually can't believe it's real. So we met around 16, 17 in our first job. We both worked in a school shoe shop. So we fitted school shoes all summer. And we instantly became besties because we're so similar. And I remember finding out Ellen was type 1 diabetic and I almost didn't believe it. I overheard her telling the managers and I was thinking, what's going on over there? Like, I just heard the word diabetes and I was kind of confused. And then I asked her afterwards and she said, yeah, I'm type 1 diabetic. And I couldn't believe it. I was trying to think back to biology. Like, what's the difference between the two types? And why does she look so skinny? Like, you know, I had all the preconceptions in my head. I just didn't understand why this girl who was so bubbly, gorgeous, could drive, was going to university in the middle of doing her A-levels. Like, I couldn't understand, you know, it just didn't match the way the media portrays a type 1 diabetic or just diabetes in general. So, yeah, I was really shocked. So that's when I discovered Ellen had type 1 diabetes, but I didn't have.
So you
type
were,
1.
what you say, 17 at the time, 16, 17?
Yeah.
So it was going to be another, 3 or 4 years before you would end up being
Yeah.
diagnosed. So had you learnt quite a lot from Ellen already at that point of your diagnosis, or do you feel that it was kind of, you touched the surface and then boom, suddenly?
I learnt a lot because I'm very fascinated by people. Like, I was just asking so many questions. I was really curious about it all. I could not believe the amount of work that went into it.
Yeah.
Like, if we wanted to have a snack at lunch, we'd walk down to the local bakery, get a donut. I could just eat the donut. But I was watching Ellen, she would have to make like 10 other decisions, you know, finger prick because you were only starting to get on CGM back then. And there was a lot of stress around doing such a simple task. So I did learn a lot. I learned what a hypo was, what insulin was for, just the ABCs of diabetes, really, you know.
Okay.
It really helped me prepare for what was about to happen.
And so then, did you know anything about the symptoms? When you started to feel ill, did you suddenly think, or did you pick it up first, Ellen? Like,
I had no idea.
How did that all go down when you were diagnosed, Beth?
Well, my younger sister got diagnosed 9 days before me.
Wow.
She's 8 years younger than me.
Okay.
And she's very camera shy. We beg her to get in our TikToks, but she does not want to be part. She doesn't want to make it into a trio. But maybe someday we'll get her to be in our TikToks. So the 4Ts were very prevalent in our household. Like, I was so aware of the symptoms. And when I got the symptoms, I was kind of in denial. Like, I passed them off as things like, oh, I'm just tired, or it's summer. Of course I'm going to be more thirsty.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going to the toilet more, because I'm so thirsty and I'm drinking more. You kind of try and justify it in your head. But the symptom that made me go get checked out was my blurry vision. Obviously, because I was high for such a long time, the vision started to go. So that's what made me go get checked out.
So how did you hear about it, Ellen, when Beth got her
She
diagnosis?
just sent me a Snapchat.
I love this about you guys. She sent me a Snapchat. Well,
Because I
like,
didn't even know she was. Well, I knew she wasn't feeling well because you were away, and then you were like, "Oh, I'm feeling horrible," and I was like, "Oh," but I was just so focused on her sister at the time, and then
of course she.
because I had just seen your mum like the day before, and then you just text me, "Oh, I think I'm diabetic," and I was like, what? And then I remember my mum and dad were like, "This is awful, this is devastating," and I was like, "Oh." Yay,
wanna get
in
your
a way.
hopes up.
Well, yay, in a way, yeah, because you've got your diabesity like 3
Yeah.
minutes down the road. So
It was great. Well, I was sad for you, but I was really happy for me.
I have that same thing with people all the time. Sometimes you meet another type 1 and you're like, oh, amazing. Well, no, not amazing that you've got it, but amazing that we've met kind
Yeah,
of thing.
that's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah. So, okay. So that did that cement your friendship even further? Were you already such good friends that it was, just
We were already living together at that
Oh,
stage.
oh.
Yeah.
new information? Okay. So you were already living together.
Yeah, and we used to call ourselves the Iconic Duo,
Right. Okay.
which is so embarrassing.
call
Now we wouldn't do
ourselves
that now. But then it just was so fitting, so to swap it over to Diabetic Duo.
I mean, yeah, why not? But did that happen very quickly? Because obviously you'd just not long been diagnosed. And then how quickly did the Diabetic Duo thing come about after that?
Well, you got me the card when I was diagnosed.
Yeah,
And
you know
that's
the
how
way
the name.
there's that Tesco sponsorship with I think it's Diabetes UK.
Oh, yeah.
So I got all my cards there, and I'm a big card person, so I got her card, and I says, "Oh, we're the Diabetic Duo now." And if anybody knows Beth and I, well, we both were studying marketing at the time, and that's what we work in now. But we love to be in front of the camera, evidently. And when TikTok came out, this is like October 2019, like so it was very fresh, and we were like, "Everybody, let's get in a video." At a pre-drinks for a nights out, and all the girls were like, "Get that away from me." So we were
It
just
wasn't cool at
Yeah,
the time. It
it
was for
wasn't.
like teeny bops. Like we
Yeah.
were probably too old for it at the time, but we
Like-
just thought, why not?
Yeah, the little dancing videos and all that. So that's pretty quick turnaround from being diagnosed for you, Beth, to then talking about it very openly, which is not something that everybody finds natural or comfortable. So is that just who you are? Was it just like, yeah, I'm diabetic, I'm going to talk about it? Or was there a kind of reckoning for you where you thought there's a purpose to doing this, or, what was the thinking behind wanting to be so
Yeah.
open? And
Well, to be honest, we never set out thinking that any of this was going to happen. Like there was no strategy in place or end goal. It was so accidental and organic. Like I remember I thought I would never be able to go out again. Like, I thought my university days are over. I'm never going to a nightclub again. Can never drink alcohol again. All the scaremongering and the leaflets you get when you get diagnosed. But then I had to just come back to reality and remember, hold on, I'm living with a type 1 diabetic who goes to the nightclub with me. Why do I think that I can't do it too, you know? So after weeks spent in bed, like the lowest point of my life ever, I'm the kind of person that grieves properly and just let myself feel upset and then come back. So I came back with a bang and I said, we need to just go out, get dressed up. And Ellen and all the girls, we were all buzzing. We just moved into our second year university apartment. So that's when we filmed the before and after video, the iconic video that made it all happen. But we had a Libra on at the time, and we didn't even mean to get it in. Like, it was nothing to do with diabetes. It was a before and after video, us getting ready for a night out, you know, the bippity boppity boo train.
Yep.
And then nobody cared about our outfits, which we were devastated about. They only cared about the CGM.
And did both of you have one on? Were they both visible that both of you had one? Because that's quite it's not just one of you in the video wearing one, it's both of you. And that's
well, as you've seen, we both had the same good side. So
yeah,
we were
that's it. You know,
fighting over that left side on camera.
We were like side by side.
So the CGM was just there, and that's what all the comments were about. And then we were like, right, well, let's just see how it goes. Like, I don't think we made an Instagram until like 2 years in.
Yeah, even at that point, we still didn't think, oh, there could be something in this. We were just like, whoa, there's a lot of type 1 diabetics here. And then we made another video and the same thing happened. And then it kind of snowballed, you know. It was very organic. Like, it probably was like 10 videos in where we thought, okay, these people want to know more. Like, they're asking us, what is this? Like, can we have more information? How long have you had it? Like, they wanted to get to know us, and that's when it happened. And for you especially, you couldn't believe the amount of community there was.
Like, you grew up feeling so alone, and then it's like, where have all you been hiding? Like,
well, I mean,
why?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
It's because it's not something, you know, type 1s don't all live in the same geographical area. A lot of people have never met another type 1 in real life. I didn't meet another type 1 for several years after my diagnosis, and it is very isolating. And, you know, I keep coming back to that. I talk all the time about peer support and knowing people and that reassurance that it gets. But it's interesting that you didn't set out to do that, and that you kind of responded to the public response to you guys. And I noticed you said there was a grieving period for you after diagnosis, which I think is really important thing to mention and pick up on there, because it is a grieving process. It is grieving the life that you thought you were going to have, and I'm really happy to hear that you took that time. Mm-hmm. Did you also then, I suppose, not knowing what was going to happen with the social media, did that also become a kind of a healing thing, a cathartic thing, when you realised people wanted more about the diabetes? Did you feel empowered then at that point to go, yeah, okay, I'll tell you about it? And, you know, I'm just wondering what that did for you.
Absolutely. Like, I think it really helped the healing process, because I saw it as a positive thing then instead of a negative thing. And we were actually chatting in the car on the way here, and I was saying to Ellen, do you think this journey and this opportunity has turned shame into pride? And I think that's a real transition. Mm-hmm. You know, when you start to see it in this way and you start to share your story, you're not embarrassed about it. You're more excited to talk about it, and you're proud of it.
Yeah.
So I think it really did.
Was that a change for you as well, Ellen? Because obviously you'd lived with it for such a long time. Was it the same thing for you, or were you already quite...
No, like, I feel like it was just me and my mom against the world my whole childhood. Sorry, Dad, you were part of it. You know,
Sorry, Dad. Sorry.
But yeah, like, I hated being diabetic. Awful. Like, would have run away if you asked me anything about it. I used to rip my CGM out to go to the cinema in case somebody could see through clothing in the dark.
Wow.
You know, supersonic vision. So it was really comforting that, you know, my selected best friend outside of diabetes became my diabesity.
Yeah.
And I'm so lucky, like, aren't I? Like, I'm so happy because, your mum can help you with so much. But at the end of the day, I don't think unless you are a diabetic, you fully can because, your mum can say, right, inject here, let's help you carb count. But I think the emotional side is so neglected.
Oh, absolutely.
And who better to rant to than your best friend?
Absolutely. I mean, it is really lucky in a way that obviously it's a shame that you both ended up, we keep going back to this, but it is super lucky that you've got that built-in peer support right there.
Silver lining to the dark cloud.
Okay.
So true. We are very positive people, so have to look on the bright side.
I love that. And I know I want to bring it back to the going out, because I know that's kind of where it sort of started for you with the social media and getting dressed up and all of that stuff. Can we just touch on that a little bit? Like,
of course,
going out with type 1. I mean, there's so many things to think about. I mean, obviously, you've become really confident at wearing your stuff on display, your tech on display. But, there's other things like maybe a comment from somebody or, okay, alcohol. Like, let's be honest. It impacts people's blood glucose levels. Do you have like a method for going out? do you have a plan or a backup plan, or how do you kind of deal with that together? Are you like each other's built-in medic?
Yeah, I mean, it's so handy having two people, isn't it? Because you've got someone reminding you at all times, and we always order together. Because I'm really scared of ordering drinks at a bar, so I always send Beth up, give her my card. So it's so handy. Yeah. I'm like scared. It's so silly. I'm scared of like shop assistants and bar tenders, even though I was one.
Yeah.
I hate speaking, so to send Beth up.
I mean, no, it's fair. It's fair. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but I actually had an experience once where I was in a bar and I ordered whatever spirit and Diet Coke, and the bartender served it to me. And I happened to stay stood at the bar while I drank it, talking to my friend. And my friend mentioned, "Oh, how's your type 1 diabetes?" And the bartender almost leapt over the bar, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's not Diet Coke. That's full fat Coke. And I've just heard you've got diabetes." And I just thought to myself for a second, well, hang on, if you know that that's full fat Coke and not Diet Coke, it's not a mistake, because if you'd mistaken it, you wouldn't know. So you've deliberately given somebody full fat Coke when they ordered diet, probably because she looked at me and went, "Oh yeah, she thinks she's too nice, kind of here. But now you've realised that I've got diabetes, and you've just jumped over the bar and snatched it away from me. Like, that's
not what you ordered.
That's not cool, guys. Like, you just think, oh, I'm going to give this person with no idea of who this person is. And that's always my kind of fear when I'm going out somewhere, is like, how do I check that this is this? I mean, it's easier now. We've got CGMs and we can, see that impact. But you ever had anything? Do you worry about those kind of things, or have I just put that worry in your head?
In the cinema, I worry about that.
Yeah.
It's that cup's very lucrative. Like, I can't tell which hole is dilated, the poke in the hole.
Yeah. But then we've got, I don't know if you have it in England, we've got the sugar tax.
Oh, yeah, no, we have the sugar tax.
You too, yeah. So I feel like you'll know, because, they're not going to give you the more expensive drink.
Not anymore.
They're probably more willing to shove the Diet Coke at you.
The Diet
you can
Coke.
tell the difference of the taste now, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes difficult when there's alcohol in it. That's
true.
My...
Well, that brings us to our favourite drink order. The
Aperol
okay. Spritz.
Oh, right. So is this the drink for good glucose? The Aperol?
No.
Okay.
This is the drink for good vibes.
Okay.
Yes. Summer vibes.
But you like an Aperol, so you know how to deal with
no. To be honest, and any doctor, medical professional, like we just did the Daphne course, and the lady who was taking it, Sandra, was like, "Don't tell me anymore."
Yes, clearly, everybody, this is not medical advice.
Yeah.
But we are big dancers.
Okay.
And we love to run home after.
Well, when we were in uni, it was easier. Now that we're at home and we're young professionals, we'll get a wee taxi.
Yeah.
But we dance until we are sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we dance that glucose out.
So you need
a sugary...
We try to rotate, between a sugary, non-sugar mixer, water.
Yes, that's probably our winning combo. Like, Aperol Spritz to start the night off, and then maybe switch to vodka soda lime for the rest of the night.
Okay.
And if we see, we're actually dipping a bit here, maybe we'll get a sugar mixer or another cocktail.
Can someone on production take notes? This is going to be my order later.
And if you are a big dancer and you're going low, isn't it lovely? Because then you can have a vodka Red Bull.
Yes.
And
Again, you should have a full sugar Coke instead. That's not advice. But that's just what we do sometimes.
No, but I do love it.
And we're here to tell the tale still.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. Is there anything else that you think people don't think about when we go on a night out? You know, a non-diabetic. Is there anything that you think like, actually, I wish people knew we have to deal with this when we're going out?
I think getting ready takes so much longer and getting to the pre-drinks. I know that sounds so trivial, but it's like, just give us a second. Like, we're going to be late. you know?
I know. That's it. You know, we make people rush and then end up having a hypo and sweating your makeup off.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, I used to get annoyed because all the girls could wear mini bags and I couldn't because I just shove.
That is one
like
of my
I bring
biggest...
a pen out and I measure it.
Yes, I wanted one of those mini handbags that you held like this right in front of you.
Such a shame.
You can't fit anything in it.
The food after.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get a carby meal after.
Ooh.
It's not even a want, it's a need.
And you're not allowed to take any of our chips because we have injected for these.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell people that next time. Sorry, I've already bolused for this. You can't have any. But yeah, no, I mean, a great excuse for chips and cheese at the end of the night, right?
I've got another example I just remembered. One time we were at a bar and it was kind of at the end of COVID. So you had to order at the QR code at your table.
Okay.
But we were going home and I was going low and I was like, here, you know, we were on the water at this stage. It was just like a dinner kind of thing with your boyfriends. So I just wanted to get a full sugar Coke. So I just went up to the bar on the way out and I said, can I get a full sugar Coke? And they said, you have to go back to your table and scan the QR code. And I explained the situation and they were so ignorant, like would not just give me the Coke. And the bar was nearly empty. You know, it's not like I was breathing on people in this controlled environment. And that really upset me. That really annoyed me because I really needed it. No, I did get it in the end. Like, I did persuade him in the end.
I mean, I've not had that happen to me, and I think that's quite shocking.
Yeah.
You could just, you know, you're there, you're at the bar, they're there. I've had to do it a couple of times in different places, and I've always just, you know, they've just poured me an orange juice.
I know.
Or something, so
There has
really
been a few
disappointing.
times that's happened to us, though.
Yeah. Like, they just don't understand.
Well, hopefully they're watching this podcast, and then you can.
You know who you are.
You know, we're not going to name and shame them. But no, guys, I really appreciate you coming and chatting to me today and telling me all of this amazing stuff. Thank you so much. And we'll be back with Beth and Ellen after a short message from our sponsors. Now, as many of you may know, I also live with type 1 diabetes. I was diagnosed in 2007, age 20. For years after my diagnosis, I lived on multiple daily injections, and not always with the greatest success. I just didn't think there was a better way for me. Then in 2018, I discovered Omnipod, and what blew me away is the fact that it's tubeless. I'd always thought of pumps as having tubes, and that's really what put me off. It just all seemed like a bit too much to have something tubed attached to my body. Being on the Omnipod system has changed my life in so many ways. It's not just improved my diabetes management, but it's the headspace and the freedom that it's given me whilst allowing me to do that. Now you may think, this all sounds amazing, but what is it like in real life? What does it feel like to wear? How big is it? Will it stay on my body? Well, the good news is that Omnipod offer a free demo kit with a needle-free pod that allows you to try it at home. It doesn't deliver any insulin, but it allows you to try it out for size and see what it's like to wear an Omnipod in real life. If you'd like to order a demo kit, you can head to omnipod.com/typecast and get started today. Now, back to the show. Hi everyone, welcome back to TypeCast, Life Between the Lines. I'm here with Beth and Ellen, the Diabetic Duo. Hi again, guys. Hey. And for this part of the show, because it's a little bit more light-hearted, I know that the two of you are a fan of a particular drink, so I thought today I would surprise you with your very own Aperol spritzes.
Thank you.
No problem, guys. Enjoy. I'm hoping there's one coming for me too.
We'll do a taste test.
Oh, tell me.
That's delicious.
Is it good? Oh, fantastic.
That is.
Well, you enjoy those. Get them down, you
We'll hold
girls.
on to them.
Get them down, you.
And a fresh orange in it.
Oh, look at this. Better late than never.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, girls. Raise our glasses. I know.
I'll do it from.
Cheers. Right. So.
Put mine into the microphone.
Oh, it is a good one. Excellent. Right. Well, I'm hoping this is going to limber you up for the next part of our show, which is the funny stories. Now, we've already talked a little bit about going out and all the rest of it, but I've had some pretty crazy experiences whilst going out and dating and the rest of it. Like, I actually had a guy, no word of a lie, on a first date ask me to my face if I found it hard getting a boyfriend because of my type 1 diabetes. Which I can laugh about it now, it's fine. I just wondered if you guys had any crazy or funny dating stories that you wanted to share with everyone.
Well, we're very lucky that our boyfriends are best friends. I feel like that was kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work
they'd
any
have
other
to
way.
be with you two, right?
So, like, we always used to laugh when we lived together. They would always find each other in the kitchen at 3 a.m. Like, is Beth hypo? Yeah. Is Ellen hypo? Yeah. But back when I was dating my boyfriend, Jack, and it wasn't serious yet, I was round at his house after a night out and I went hypo. But I was in a boys' uni house, and what are they going to have? Nothing. So do you know what he brought me? Kettle water with sugar sprinkled in and a half-eaten coffee biscuit from my cousin Jay. And that's what I was served.
You didn't like coffee at the time. It was
It was
coffee flavored.
disgusting.
I'm sorry.
And a teaspoon in it as if it made it any better. And why was it kettle hot? Like, why wasn't it just cold water?
He probably thought it needed to be hot.
And he brought it in as if this was a really great thing. Like, here you go.
Oh,
Sorry.
Bless him for trying, though. I mean,
He's
but it's
lucky
the
he got
half-eaten
another
biscuit
date.
that got me. I mean, why was there a half-eaten
I
biscuit?
think he just panicked and grabbed everything in sight.
I mean, that's just taken me down a whole different tangent. Like, what is the weirdest thing you've ever had to treat a hypo with other than a half-eaten?
I think
I
that
don't
is
think
mine.
it gets worse than that, to be honest.
That was rock bottom.
Yeah, I was going to say that is a new low for lows.
But when we were both single, over 4 years ago, we were in university and we were in the same lecture and we had this boy in our class and he was gorgeous.
There was a lot of gorgeous boys in our class. We got so lucky.
Yeah.
What if they listen to this?
I hope they won't. They won't.
It's fine. It's fine. It was a long time ago.
And we both had a hypo. Like, what are the odds? But it was when I was first diagnosed, and I remember it used to be like, I don't know how to describe this, but when you went low, it was almost like, oh, damsel in distress, you know. But this was in a silent lecture hall, like the big lecture hall. Beep, beep, beep. And you were beep, beep, beep. And we were like, what are we going to do? We had 1 bottle of Coke. And we were in fits of laughter because it was just like chaos. You know, when your head starts to go dizzy. And we were like fighting over this 1 bottle of Coke.
But that is
And
true,
we were
though.
like,
I mean, I
we
have had
cannot
fits of
get his
laughter
attention.
in a hypo. That is a
Yeah.
genuine thing.
Because you go delirious.
Yeah, your brain's gone to mush.
But then the guy saw us. He looked back
I think
and he
everybody saw because we thought we were being discreet when actually it was like, imagine the sound of us two gulping Coke, shoving the bottle at each other. And all of our friends were like, what are you doing?
One of our friends did go and get us another one because we were like, we can't get up, we're low. Like, somebody needs to get us another Coke.
Oh, wow. I mean,
But to be fair, I think our lecture, it wasn't that. Well, one of my lecturer's daughters was diabetic, so he used to like let me away with murder. He was so good.
Yeah.
oh, that does make things a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was on a train once and I was running out of things and the train was packed. And there was no way. There was people standing in the aisles and someone sat next to me and I'm in a corner and I've had all of my hypo treatments and I'm still going low and there's just no way I'm going to push through and get to the shop. And I remember phoning my stepmom and like down the phone. And I remember her just saying, put me on speaker. And I put her on speakerphone and I held her up. And she just shouted down this train carriage, my daughter's type 1 diabetic and she's having a hypo. All these hands start coming up down the train carriage. People are holding up Fantas, chocolate bars, whatever. And it's like a Mexican wave of people passing them down the carriage. I do think there was a half-drank bottle of Lucozade in there. So I think we both had. But
Have eaten.
It was amazing. So, and then we stopped
That's
the next
incredible.
stop, and these people are all getting off, and then now I'm crying a second time because I'm like, thank you so much.
That's so nice.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, interesting hypo treatments, but I mean, it's so nice, great that you've both got boyfriends who will go down to the kitchen at
Yes.
3 a.m. and get your juice
Funny,
for you.
I knew my boyfriend was the one whenever I had my first hypo at his house, like at his family home, and he brought me a glass, a crystal clear glass with ice, cold Coca-Cola, and a lime and a straw.
I mean, that is taking hypo.
And I was like,
seriously.
this is fine dining. Like, I'll stay here. This is amazing. And that's how I knew. 4 years later.
That is like the creme de la creme of hypo treatment.
Yeah, it is.
He's going to have to like up his game every time now, you know?
I know. And sometimes when he brings something I'm not really sure of, I'm like, come on, remember the first time? Like, why have you let yourself go?
That's it. Come on, standards are slipping.
But we're pretty lucky apart from that, aren't we? Like, we don't really have any nightmare dating stories. But we do have a nightmare story of a different kind.
Oh, go on.
The ghost story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, go on, tell us.
I was haunted by a diabetic ghost.
No. Okay, this is going in a whole different direction. Ellen,
I wasn't really, but this is just my favorite memory.
how do you know it was a diabetic ghost?
No, because it all leads in. So, I'm primary 7. I don't know what that is to use over here.
Oh,
Last year,
yes.
primary school.
Yeah. Okay, so last year of primary school. Okay.
And I was going to my first sleepover.
Yeah.
And, you know, you need to think back to the olden days. There was no CGM.
Yeah.
You know, you had what you had. And I went to the cinema and I went wild on the pick a mix. You know, because my mum wasn't there. This is amazing.
That's it.
And I went, no injections. Are you joking? I went back and I had all the party food, no injections. I was, you know, going wild. Don't recommend. But I was a child. And then we were sleeping in a tent out the back. And, you know, after about 12 hours, I thought, this is a good time to probably check my sugars. But we were telling ghost stories. So everybody was, you know, telling scary stories. So I get very scared by things like that. And I pull out my little finger prick. And I think it was like hot pink back then. It was gorgeous.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
And I pricked my finger. And what did it say? Now, you need to remember, I had no medical knowledge.
Okay.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, dark,
Ghost
in a
stories.
tent, in a cottage, you know, in a field. And it said, hi, but H-I. So didn't we all
said
start
hi.
screaming and crying because we thought, oh my goodness,
You thought
ghost is coming through me through my finger.
it's a Ouija board.
So we all start screaming, and this poor girl's mum is running down the garden like, what's happened? And we're all crying, like we've all run away and left my fingerprint, like because it was haunted.
If it was nice to get you.
And like and then the mum was panicking because she doesn't know what that means.
Oh my God.
So she's ringing my mum, and my mum was like, "They're all stupid." It means she's had too much sugar.
Oh my goodness.
But I still slept in the tent. Like I was all, you know, we correction dosed and I moved on. But it really felt so real.
I can safely say, guys, that no matter how many people I ask this question to or what funny stories I ask, no one is ever going to beat the diabetic ghost story. That is it, hands down.
That's my favourite story ever.
It was terrifying. We should make a horror film about that and we could all be the actors.
I love it.
love
That's
it.
it. The diabetic ghost. Okay, right. I'm going to stop this there before this gets any more crazy, because I think this is a good time to play a little game. You will find a couple of cards next to you guys. You can take one of those each.
Yep.
Now, you purport to know each other very well. You've known each other a long time. So I want honest answers on a postcard, please, ladies. I'm going to ask you, who's more likely?
Ooh.
Okay. Are you ready?
Ready.
Yes.
Beth and Ellen. Who's more likely to stress out?
Ellen.
I said Ellen.
Okay, I think that's there's no arguments there. Yeah. Who's more likely to chill out? I think we know the answer now.
Beth.
There we go. Well, that's good. You've got a balance at least. All right. Who's most likely to be the DJ at the house party?
Oh. Yeah.
I'm going to go with you, though. You've got some good playlists.
Yes, but we're a duo act, so we kind of do most things like DJing together.
Okay, all right. I like that. DJ double act. There we go. The diabetic duo of DJs.
Love that.
There we go. Right. Who's most likely to leave the party early?
I'm going to say me.
Oh.
I always get the first
Actually,
taxi home.
you do like to go early.
Yeah.
But sometimes I like to do an Irish goodbye. You know, where you just run away.
But I call it a backdoor. Yeah, backdoor
Like,
exit.
I get
Leave
really
without-
hungry.
Yeah.
I suppose you do. Probably both of us in different contexts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's my ADHD. When I've decided I'm ready to leave,
Yeah.
that's it. I don't even have time to say goodbye to you. I'm sorry. I'm just leaving.
Yes.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. Okay. Who's most likely to info dump about diabetes to a stranger?
I'm going to say you.
Remember that time in the nightclub? You were there.
Oh my God, yes. We started.
Get that story up. The man told me if I took Irish sea moss that I would lose my diabetes. And I said, well, I swim in the sea in Ireland all the time and I'm still here.
That was in
And
London.
Natalie was there.
That was in
Ellen
London.
literally was like, I'll tell you the facts right now.
We were using Type 1 to get them to leave us alone, and they were not leaving us. They were not put off. They were not put off.
They were obsessed with you, Natalie.
Yeah.
And we were just getting the brunt end of it.
Okay. Who's most likely to fangirl over a celeb?
Yeah. Me.
Taylor Swift.
Oh, we've got a Swiftie
I fall
in the-
asleep to celebrity pop culture documentaries.
You
So-
don't.
I like to
That's
keep
what I'm
fresh
saying.
stuff.
If you saw them in the flesh,
Yeah.
you know.
What's your favourite celeb documentary then?
Well, you see, I watch random people like dissecting them,
Oh.
you know.
We love the Kardashians.
Yeah, we just love everybody. Like, even if I don't agree with them, I just love learning about them.
Fascinating.
But you'd be more into influencers, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're like a Hollywood celeb
Yes.
fangirl and you're an influencer fangirl.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Who's your favourite influencer? Not yourself.
Gosh, how could I ever decide? You, Natalie.
I'll pay them later. Okay. Who is most likely to bump their CGM on a door frame?
Both of us.
I feel like I'm so clumsy. Yeah, I would say both though, because we're both bad for that.
I am a klutz. I'm terrible, honestly.
It's so easily done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always walking into things. Okay. This is a good one. Who is most likely to get their PLT account banned for returning too much stuff?
Beth.
Because I can't decide.
You
Am
order
I not
everything.
the most indecisive person?
Yeah, Beth, I think that's my least favorite trait about you.
Yeah,
Your
I'm
indecisiveness.
so indecisive. Like Ellen took me for my birthday to get this necklace made.
Oh.
And she was like, Beth, please, the night before, can you go on Pinterest? Because we cannot stay there for 3 hours. We've got a 1 hour appointment. Like, I can't decide. So I order it all and then see what I want to keep.
Fair enough. I mean, you know, other than the fact that they're banning people's accounts, I think that's a legitimate way to do.
Yeah.
They better
shopping.
not ban me. I love PLT.
Sorry, PLT. Sorry. Okay, final one. Who is most likely to use their diabetes as an excuse to get out of something?
I don't think we do that.
I did
I'm
in
gonna
high
say
school.
equal.
Yeah, but not
This is
anymore.
So good.
Yeah.
It was just PE. Like, I really am not
And
into
do you know
that.
why we don't do it? Because we're very passionate about people taking us seriously. Like, we would hate to think like our workplaces would think that about us. So we're like, even if we're sick, like, we come into work.
I see. No,
Which
I
is
don't use
toxic
it
at
as an
the same
excuse to get out
time.
of work, but maybe that's because I'm a workaholic. But I do use it as an excuse to get out of social things.
Do you? See, I think
Maybe
we'd
we
get caught
should.
out.
We've never.
I can't lie. Well, I can lie, but not in that. Like, it would give it away. Like,
And
I
we
couldn't
can't
say-
both be suffering on the same day. Like, we're both really high.
That's
today.
true. Yeah, you'd both have to be. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It makes it harder sometimes there being two of us.
that is very true.
Like, really, you're both really low today.
Yes.
That is very true. All right. Thank you so much for that's the end of your Mr. and Mrs. round.
So fun.
So fun.
I love it. I appreciate it. So, as always, I like to finish these podcasts on a positive note. And so I was wondering what advice would you give to your younger selves?
Well, I didn't have type 1 as a child, but if I was talking to another younger person who was diagnosed, I would say don't blame yourself, because that's something I struggle with. Like, there's nothing you could have done to avoid this, and it doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't define you. If anything, it's just going to make you want to chase your dreams more. And I promise it does get easier. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
That's really good advice. What about you, Ellen?
I would say, well, if I could speak to me, I wouldn't go directly to 7-year-old Ellen. I'd maybe go to 14-year-old Ellen. And I would say, like, take away this shame. Like, being embarrassing is okay. Like, I don't know why in high school you think it's not okay to be different. Like, when you get to university, clearly what happened for us is our difference became like our power. It's our weapon. It's why we've got friends with you today, Natalie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just think, don't be embarrassed. You do what you have to do. If somebody's looking at you, giving your insulin or checking your glucose, it's their problem, not yours. You need to look after yourself. And the more that you look after yourself and treat all your hypos and, don't skip giving injections, don't skip lunch, you'll feel happier and healthier to keep up with all your other friends. So the only person that you're letting down by not doing that is yourself.
Absolutely.
So look after yourself.
Absolutely. That's incredible advice, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming on the show today. I think there's a lot of people who are going to be really inspired by just how passionately and confidently and beautifully you're living your lives with type 1. And you're just an inspiration to all young girls out there. So thank you ever so much. And just before we go, can you let everybody know where they can find you on socials?
Yes, we're Diabetic Duo on TikTok and _diabetic_duo on Instagram.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
Well, that's it for today's episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching the Diabetic Duo, Beth and Ellen. And of course, if you would like to appear on an episode of TypeCast, you can email us at typecast@insulet.com with your name, age, location, and what you'd like to talk about. Or if you just have a funny story you'd like to share, you can do this via our email or socials. And of course, we'd love your feedback, so please drop a comment in the section below. And until next time, keep being amazing, guys. You've got this.